interesting numbers on James Harden. From 2013 to 2020, James Harden was an all-star every single year. That was an 8-year period. 6 times he was a top 5, finished top 5 in the MVP voting. 8 times he finished top 10 in the MVP voting. There was a stretch where he was top 3 in the MVP voting 4 straight years. Of course, he won, it culminated in 2018, winning his first and only MVP. He should have won it. I could make a strong case that he should have won it in 2017 over Westbrook or Kawhi Leonard. You could have given it to Kawhi Leonard. Bottom line, Westbrook should have won that year. But anyway, you have that situation. You have that situation to where he's legitimately, during that time period, love to hate, where you, despite all the postseason failures, he still made team relatively was still in the playoffs every year, making it to at least the Western Conference semifinals, got to a couple conference finals, and of course fell to Golden State one of those years. But he was legitimately a top 5 to top 7 player in the league. It was one of the, there were 7 to 8 guys that mattered in the league. There was always 7 to 8 guys that really matter more than most. He was one of those guys. He's one of those guys. And again, style of play, was not in love with the isolation, the flailing with the fouls, and getting to the foul call, getting into a line, just manipulation of the officials from that standpoint, whatever. Putting up big numbers, and we know it didn't equate to the postseason, but still, his numbers, his impact on the game during the regular season was undeniable. Never injured, relatively and that was probably the most underappreciated part of James Harden's game, was his durability. Played heavy minutes, showed up, and produced at an MVP level for almost a decade. That player, then he forces his way out of Houston in 2020 and 2021. And next thing you know, he's now on his 3rd trade in 3 years. Forces his way out of Houston. In essence, quit on Houston. He broke up a team that came very close, a 65-win team that came very close to beating Golden State, with basically forcing them to trade Chris Paul for Russell Westbrook. How did that work out? And all the draft assets they had to give up to get a player that was significantly not as good as the player that they got rid of. Like Russell, you look at what Chris Paul has done with Oklahoma City and did with Phoenix versus what Russell Westbrook did once he got to Houston